So the WNBA needs to do something. They need to do something to protect their young players. They are doing absolutely nothing, and someone is going to get hurt sooner rather than later. And this is not welcome to the WNBA. This is not welcome to the NBA moments. This is not a welcome to basketball moment. And I think they really dropped the ball. They really dropped the ball. And by the way, they can't do anything with this entire situation that happened to Caitlin Clark, because there was a much worse situation that had happened last week and they did nothing. And it was Alyssa Thomas choke slamming Angel Reese. They really dropped the ball by doing nothing with that. Before we get on to, if you guys are new to the channel, subscribe. Thank you guys for 5,000 subscribers. And trust me, we're getting back to normal basketball content very soon. Just obviously, we got to talk about this because it's the most relevant thing in the sport. I hate that I have to do it, but unfortunately, it is what it is. But anyway, now let's get on to the video. So, obviously, there has been so many occasions where there's been video footage. Again, Caitlin Clark getting punched in the throat against... I don't know. Actually, you know what? It was in this area right here. I don't know if it hit her chest or her neck, but she got punched against Seattle Storm. WNBA do nothing. Angel Reese gets choke slammed. WNBA do nothing. Caitlin Clark gets like cheap shotted. WNBA the referees don't even call it as a flagrant. It's very much a case that the league is not protecting their players. And I'll say it, with no suspension to Alyssa Thomas, the league is not protecting her, or has set now a precedent that, like, by the way, like, Angel Reese could have broke her neck. Like, that was one of the most dangerous things I've seen on a court. Like, she could have broke her neck, and the WNBA did nothing. And I'm not going to blame Angel Reese for it, but her response being like, it was basically, I'm paraphrasing, she basically just said, I don't expect to be treated any differently. Well, you are treated differently. You got chokeslammed. That is you being treated differently, by the way. So if you're saying you don't want to be treated any differently, you should be not immune to assault, but like, they shouldn't be allowed to just chokeslam you. And to be fair, at least the referees came to the right decision. And her basically saying, like, it was almost, I need to get the actual tweet here, but I think she said something like, it was like a wake up call in the interview, and that, like, she wants the smoke, and it's like a couple of inches she falls differently, and it's a broken neck. So, like, she can say what she wants, and you know what, she's saying the right things in these interviews, because obviously Angel Reese wants to come off as the toughest person in the room when it suits her. By the way, I really, really like Angel Reese. I've so many videos on this channel defending Angel Reese. I really, really like Angel Reese. But we've saw, and it was, everyone killed Emmanuel Acho for it when he said this after she lost and was like showing emotion against when they lost to Iowa. It's like, you can't be the big bad wolf when it suits, and then when it suits otherwise, try to become a victim. And that's the one thing Angel Reese is doing, but at the same time, you can very much see she just wants to be seen as tough. And in fairness, the way she plays, she is tough. She is incredibly tough. But that would shake up any player. Like, Angel Reese was shook after that. If you watch the game, after she got chokeslammed, she wasn't right against the Sun. They might have won that game, even with Alyssa Thomas on the floor, with how well Angel Reese was playing on the defensive end. If that doesn't happen, they probably win that game. She was shook. She wanted to play it off like it was nothing, but it wasn't nothing. It was borderline assault. Maybe even you could consider it assault. If that was done on the street, again, that's someone in jail. But she was completely shook from that in that game. And the WNBA did nothing to protect her. Regardless of how she reacts to it, the WNBA, by not suspending Alyssa Thomas, did not do their due diligence in protecting one of their star rookies in Angel Reese. He didn't. Regardless of what she says in the interview, regardless of if she goes, she shouldn't be suspended, that shouldn't mean anything. She should have been suspended. She put a player in danger. And now we're seeing it with Angel Reese. And the WNBA have now set a precedent that they actually can't. Or not Angel Reese, but Caitlin Clark. They cannot suspend Kennedy Carter. One, because the referees didn't even call it as a flagrant. The referee saw the replay. And the worst part is that they... Like Kennedy Carter is out here talking about, like, liking tweets saying to do it again. She's out here liking tweets saying Caitlin Clark deserved it. Like, genuinely, this is a 10 to 15 game suspension in the NBA. because the NBA care about their product, they care about their players, and the WNBA don't. And again, Alyssa Thomas should have been suspended. She should have been suspended. And now the precedent that has been set by the WNBA is they actually can't. Because if they suspend Kennedy Carter for this, all it's going to do is make people wonder why Alyssa Thomas wasn't suspended. They have dug themselves a hole, and now, by not suspending Kennedy Carter, they have now made it seem like it's perfectly fine to go after the young players. Whether that be Caitlin Clark, whether that be Angel Reese, whether that be Cameron Brink in the future, whether that be Nika Mule in the few minutes she plays, whether that be, I was about to say, like, what's her name, is it Pilly? But like, she's big enough, no one's gonna try start ain't with her. Whether it's Rakia Jackson, that the WNBA have now set a precedent that it's okay to go after their future stars, and not in a, oh, we want to be physical with rookies way, to go after them in a, we want to hurt them way. The WNBA has set that precedent, and I don't know how to get out of it, because suspending Kennedy Carter opens up another can of worms. Like, that completely, like, that means you have to retroactively suspend Alyssa Thomas, which you can't do. And because you didn't suspend Alyssa Thomas for doing something much worse than what Kennedy Carter did, the only way you can suspend Kennedy Carter is for the like tweets. That is the only thing you can do. And then that changes everything as well. Like, you can suspend her based on the like tweets and deem from that maybe it was premeditated, that she had planned on hurting her before the game. Maybe that's the only way right now that you can save face and suspend Kennedy Carter. But it's just, I don't envy the position WNBA commissioner's in. But it was going this way. I made multiple videos talking about it going this way. And what happened is that, like it was so obvious what was happening. It's so obvious what's been happening from the start of the year. But they turned a blind eye, I think intentionally. I think they want to be known as this hard league, this is physical basketball, and it's not physical. There's a difference between physical basketball and cheap shots. Like, if Shaquille O'Neal, who is the most physical player in NBA history, was standing there, not looking, and I ran up to him and wound up an elbow and got him in the rib, got him in the side with that, and hit him with a shoulder, I would probably knock over Shaquille O'Neal. But that's not me out physicaling Shaquille O'Neal, that's me cheap shotting him. And that's what people don't understand, is that there's a difference between physicality and cheap shots. And there's a reason why the NBA changed everything after the Jordan rules. There's a reason why, like, they're doing what they're doing for suspensions. There's a reason why Draymond Green is with the league is on such a short leash, because he has a history of assaulting people. So they've got to do something, but I don't know what they do, because they've already made it clear they don't care about protecting their players. And it's very hard now, having set the precedent of we actually don't want to protect our young players, to now suddenly try to protect our young players. So I don't envy the position the commissioner's in, but at the same time, a competent commissioner stops this straight away. A competent commissioner stops this straight away early in the year. Alyssa Thomas, suspended. Vivian's suspended. Makes it at least seem safe for Caitlin Clark to go on the floor. And I've said it. Until the WNBA do something, Caitlin Clark should not suit up again. Until they say or do something. Because again, we've seen, like, and I also don't think she should play against the Sky again for the rest of the year. As long as Kennedy Carter's there, Kennedy Carter liked the tweet saying she should do it again. To me, that's a threat. Like, that should be a suspension. Effectively threatening another player. Like, somebody saying you should punch X person, or you should hit X person. Obviously, they didn't say that. They said, do it one more time for me, and she liked the tweet. But liking tweets basically saying you should assault somebody. And especially when you're going to be around near that person again, that looks like a threat. So, I don't know, maybe you can suspend based on that, but the WNBA have to do something. Otherwise, not only is it not safe, it's not safe for Caitlin Clark to be on the floor because she is the number one targeted rookie, but even like with Angel Reese, who's being targeted. What's going to happen in next year when people are hyping up Paige Beckers? What's going to happen, especially with Juju, who might be the most hyped of them all? Is it going to be safe for them to be on the floor? Because right now, I do not consider it safe for Caitlin Clark to be on the floor in the WNBA. I think that, thankfully, Angel Reese is a lot stronger. She can deal with herself a lot better, but she's still not immune to it. Especially when you're looking at the guards coming in, like with Paige next year. Is it going to be safe for Paige Beckers to play in this league? Should Paige Beckers just say, screw the WNBA, I'm going to go play overseas? Because she's someone with multiple bad injuries, ACL tears. Like, unlike Caitlin Clark, who has been a beacon of health, Paige Beckers has been injured. Like, how many games till Paige Beckers gets hurt? 3, 4, 5? Unless something changes, I don't think it's safe for young guards to play in the league. Because regardless of people trying to rough up Kelsey Plum, rough up Sabrina Ionescu, there's a difference between trying to rough someone up and trying to hurt them. And these players are trying to hurt the rookies. And the WNBA is doing nothing.